It's time for the starts and sits for Week 13 Fantasy Football here, brought to you by Climb the Pocket. On Thanksgiving, we ran a contest for a chance to win a signed David Montgomery jersey, and that winner is Tyler Gardenier over on Twitter. Congratulations. Here is our success rate with our starts and sits going through Week 12. There's going to be hits, there's going to be misses, but no matter what, we're always going to provide educational insight to help you make those start-sit decisions. Now, on to the start quarterbacks. Our must-start quarterbacks for Week 13 are Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, Carson Wentz, Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts. And our under-the-radar quarterback for Week 13 is Taysom Hill versus Dallas. It looks like Hill will get the nod at the starting quarterback job this Thursday, as Trevor Siemian just doesn't provide much upside for the Saints at the position. While Hill might not be much more of a polished passer of the football, he provides immensely more upside with his rushing ability, especially near the goal line. When he starts, like it or not, he's a QB1. Our must-sit quarterbacks for Week 13 are Jimmy Garoppolo, Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson. And our beware of the bust quarterback for Week 13 is Joe Burrow versus the Los Angeles Chargers. To start off the season, it looked like Joe Burrow might turn into a special piece for your fantasy football team. Well, over the past 4 weeks, he's QB 27, not even quarterback 2. He and the Bengals take on the Chargers this week, who are surrendering the 5th least fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. The Chargers are, however, giving up the 5th most points to opposing quarterbacks this season, and after the last few weeks Joe Mixon has had, we don't see why the Bengals would fade away from this run-heavy approach to win this game. Now on to the running back position. Our must-start running backs for Week 13 are Leonard Fournette, Javonte Williams, Alexander Mattison, Elijah Mitchell, James Conner. And our under-the-radar running back for Week 13 is Devonta Freeman at Pittsburgh. The last 3 games, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has not looked like it did last year, giving up 200 rushing yards per game during this time. Although Freeman has been hit or miss for the Ravens, he has been seeing a healthy amount of opportunities and is clearly involved in this offense, as he has seen the most snaps at the position for the Ravens every week since Week 7. Look for this game to be competitive and for Freeman to see a little more usage in the passing game while still receiving the opportunities in the backfield. Our must-sit running backs for Week 13 are Matt Breida, David Johnson, Kenyon Drake, Alex Collins, Ramondre Stevenson. And our beware the bust running back for Week 13 is Ezekiel Elliott at New Orleans. This could be a total flop. Whenever you're suggesting a top running back in the league is a possible sit in fantasy football, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. Well, you can't ignore all the news and the chatter around the league, where reports are coming out that the Cowboys could take some workload off of Zeke for a few weeks until his ankle is healthy. We saw a start to this last week on Thanksgiving with how involved Tony Pollard was. He's not an automatic sit this week, but pay attention to the news and temper expectations if you do start him, as Pollard will be very involved once again. Now on to the wide receiver position. Our must-start wide receivers for Week 13 are Darnell Mooney, Devonta Smith, Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow, Michael Pittman. And our under-the-radar wide receiver for Week 13 is Van Jefferson versus Jacksonville. This guy might be the real deal. Van Jefferson has been very involved in his offense lately, as just last week against Green Bay, he saw 9 targets, and his previous 4 weeks, 7, 7, 6, 7. That's pretty good for a number 3 wide receiver with a quarterback like Matthew Stafford throwing him the football. OBJ got banged up on Sunday, and if he were to miss any time, Van Jefferson is a must-start this week against the Jaguars defense and also going forward. Our must-sit wide receivers for Week 13 are Cole Beasley, Jacoby Myers, Tyler Boyd, Emmanuel Sanders, Russell Gage. And our beware of the bust wide receiver for Week 13 is Jerry Jeudy at Kansas City. Not sure what the Broncos were doing with Jerry Jeudy's involvement in the offense last week against the Chargers. As mentioned before, it might be just how good that defense is playing against the pass game right now. Nonetheless, the Broncos are finding ways to win games, and that's through their dynamic duo at the running back position in Williams and Gordon. Jeudy and Courtland Sutton are taking the blunt trauma of this game plan, and even against the gettable Chiefs defense, we can't expect too much from the Broncos pass catchers this week. Now on to the tight end position. Our must-start tight ends for Week 13 are Dallas Goedert, Logan Thomas, Tyler Higbee, Rob Gronkowski, Pat Freiermuth. And the under-the-radar tight end for Week 13 is Gerald Everett versus San Francisco. Tight end for the Seahawks, Gerald EVERETT hasn't been doing anything too flashy lately, but he has been seeing a lot more work since Russell Wilson's return to the offense. He's averaged 7 targets over the last 3 games and caught a touchdown last week. He's a sleeper this week to see another healthy load of targets and possibly find the end zone once again as he and Russ continue to develop a nice chemistry. Our must-sit tight ends for Week 13 are Jonnu Smith, Jared Cook, James O'Shaughnessy, Jimmy Graham, Tyler Conklin. And our Beware the Bust tight end for Week 13 is Mike Gesicki versus the New York Giants. Starting off the year hot, Mike Gesicki has been completely unreliable lately. He has failed to top 9 fantasy points since Week 7. The lack of consistency creates much hesitancy to start him going forward, as you need much more upside at the position during your playoff run if you want a shot at the trophy. Look elsewhere this week. Now on to defensive special teams. Our must-start defenses for Week 13 are the Colts, the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Rams, and the Vikings. Our must-sit defenses for Week 13 are the Bengals, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the football team, and the Saints. Thanks again for joining us on another edition of Stardom Situm here on the Climb the Pocket YouTube channel. If you enjoyed today's video, show some love and like the video and consider subscribing to never miss another video. Good luck on the playoff push, and let's go get another W in Week 13.